We will continue today with lesson 2. So what we are going to do, we are going to use our previous knowledge of lesson 1 to learn more about angles. What is an angle? Now an angle is the opening, you see there, between two rays of lines. In this case, ray CA and ray CB met at a common point C, and immediately we have an angle there, an opening. Now it's normally measured in degrees, and that is our little symbol for degrees. So as I said, now they meet at a common endpoint, and this endpoint is C, and we call that the vertex of the angle, right? The vertex of the angle. So our ray is CB, but we can also call that the arm of an angle or the side of an angle. The same with CA. We can call that the arm, the side, or the ray of an angle. Now, how do we label an angle? First of all, you can call that angle C. We only have one angle there, so it's angle C, because that is the point where the two rays met. Alright? Point vertex C and by point C. We write it like this, angle C, or we have an hat. We have a hat on top of the C. Now we can also use the vertex and a point on each arm to name the angle. In this case, we call it B, C, A. We make use of point B, point A, and the vertex, as long as you write the vertex in the middle. Also, we can call it A, C, B. Okay, so what is an angle? It's the opening between two rays when they meet. The point where they meet we call the vertex. The two sides we can call the two rays, the two arms, or as I said now, the two sides of an angle. Now sometimes we have a more complex figure. For example, this one. This line and that line intersect. So now we must actually use the method where we make use of the vertex and the point of each arm. Now in this diagram we have 4 angles. You see there? 1, 2, 3, 4. And B can be now confusing because it belongs to 4 angles, or rather it is the vertex of 4 angles. Now we must use the vertex and a point of each arm to name them. We start with the one point here, red, and in this case we call this angle ABC, or we call it CBA, and we are talking about this angle here. Now we go over to the green, the one marked with a green dot. We call this angle DBA, or we can call it ABD. The third one, yellow, we call that DBE or EBD. And lastly, the one marked with a blue dot, we call that CBE or EBC. Right, so we can start now with our next naming of angle. We can also name an angle by a letter written in the opening of the angle. So you see here, I use small letters C and B, but we do not write, or we do not put the symbol angle in front of them, because they are actually just representing the sizes of angles. So small letters represent the sizes of angle, Capital letters that is the name of the points or the vertex or the points on the lines, right? So small letters are just placeholders for the value of the angle. Now we can also name an angle by a number written in the opening of the angle. So here we have two angles, but both of them have the same vertex M, right? So we can call them only angle 1 and angle 2, but we put the angle symbol in front of them. Or we can call them angle M1, angle M2. So here we have now another angle here. But we know this part now is angle B, right? We do not have the points on the rays, so we can call this angle B. This is the internal part of this angle. But we also have an external part of the angle, right? Right around the internal part. Now that is what we call reflex B. We don't call it angle B, we call that reflex B, right? Or reflex angle B. Okay, let us go. We can use letters, we can use numbers, and lastly, we can use the word reflex B. When you see reflex, you know it's the external part of the angle. Right, here we have a little exercise for you. I am not going to write down all the answers. Why? Because I have the answers on the last slide. Okay, so I'll help you with the first one. Name the vertex of this angle and the rays that form the angle. So the vertex is B. That is right. The vertex is B. The two rays that form the angle is ray BA, and here we need our pens. I need a pencil to write it for you, or a pen. Remember, you must write it starting point is B, right? And go into the C direction. That is the one ray that form this angle. The other ray is B A. Symbol must be 100%. Starting point is B and it go into the A direction. Right, we continue here. Name the vertex. Vertex is G. The two rays D E and D C. Okay, continue with the next one. Name the vertex. The vertex is M. That is our vertex there, M. The two rays M N and M P. So far so good. Continue with the next one, D. What is the vertex? Name the vertex. The vertex is F. Right. The two rays F G and F H. Okay. Number 2. Name each angle 4 ways. Right. 4 different ways of naming this angle. I'll give you the first one. Just Q. Right. The next one, Q2. Q2. Then the next one, PQR. P, Q, and R. And don't forget symbol on top or next to it. And then the other one, R, Q, and P. And there we have the symbol. Right. name this angle 4 ways. B, just B. Then you can call it B3. Then you can call it ABC. And lastly, you can call it CBA. Our next one is more complicated. You can see there, F, you must now give names to the angles marked F, G, X, and Y. We start with F. There. We can call this BFC, as long as B is in the middle. BDC. You can also call it ADC, right? Or CDA. That is F. Now we come to G. We can call this AEB or BEA or CEB or BEC. X is over here. It's a bit far from the angle, but it's this one here. We can call that CDE, or we can call it EDC. Lastly is Y. We can call that, or we must call it BEG, or we can also call it DEB. Thank you. That is all for today. But also remember, here we have all the answers on the last slide. So if you want to revise again, you can do it on your own, and you can compare your answers with my answers. Thank you.